Well, good afternoon. We're the Real Ingredients. Happy to be here at the Northeast Michigan Basement Tapes. And we're going to go ahead and play our first song for you. This one's called Rock Bottom. And it does have a depressing title, but it's about getting through the tough times, and it has a happy ending. This is one of my original songs that I wrote a couple summers ago. And it helped get me through a tough time, and it was one of the first ones that we, as the Real Ingredients, learned to play together. So, Rock Bottom for you. I'm asking, why do we have to hit rock bottom before we change our wicked ways? So many reasons to change, but we're just too blind to spot 'em. We lead ourselves into darker days, but I know that we can learn to let it go. Practice mindfulness rather than selfishness, and just to ride the ebb and the flow. Why do we bring ourselves to collapse before we realize it's all wrong? We lose sight of our progress and we relapse. And then we try to heal by writing a couple songs. But I know that we can learn to let it go. Practice mindfulness rather than selfishness, and just ride the ebb and the flow. If we drop our egos and look outside of ourselves, while at the same time focus on looking in, you can read all of the books sitting on your dusty shelves. You can pick up the broken pieces and start again. Oh no, no, we don't have to reach the point of no return to understand that there's a better way. Yeah, there's enough time left for us to relearn, to abandon our fears and allow love to stay. But I know that we can learn to let it go. Practice mindfulness rather than selfishness, and just ride the ebb and the flow. But I know that we can learn to let it go. Practice mindfulness rather than selfishness, and just to ride the ebb and the flow.
welcome to the Northeast Michigan Basement Tapes. My name's Zach, and I'm your host. And tonight we have special guest, the Real Ingredients, all the way from Petoskey, Michigan.
Petoskey, Michigan.
We have Traven, Michaels, and
Sean Miller.
Sean Miller.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming down to the basement.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to Alpena. I hear you guys been like all around Alpena playing this whole weekend.
It's been a busy weekend, but fun weekend.
Yeah.
Traven's friend hooked us up with some gigs, so we were at a...
Big thanks to Charles Madison.
Yeah.
Charles Madison?
Helping set us up with some gigs over here. We played over at Latitudes on Friday night and then Chiefs last night.
Nice.
And we're here today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the whole shebang. Yeah. Now, Traven, you're from Petoskey, but did you live here in Alpena?
I'm from Petoskey. I was born there and I lived there most of my life, but I've always had family over here in Alpena. My grandma Barb has lived here for pretty much her whole life. My grandma Julianne used to live here as well. My mom and dad are originally from here.
Yeah.
So lots of family history.
Okay, cool. And then Sean?
I have no ties to Alpena.
No ties with Alpena.
I am from Petoskey, though.
Okay.
Born and raised Petoskey. Yeah.
Great. Have you been to Alpena?
I have been to Alpena, a handful of times.
Okay. So it's not a new thing for you guys.
No.
So, what made you decide that you wanted to bring this music over to Alpena and stuff?
I would say definitely just my family over here. They really wanted us to come, and also Amber's family, my girlfriend Amber. They all wanted us to come over here and play some gigs, and I, because I have family history here and respect for the town, I wanted to get over here and play.
Well, I think beyond that, too, we've been playing out for, 2 years? We're going into our second year, almost 3, I don't know. Timeline's
Well,
sketchy,
I saw something online
we,
that you guys used to play back in the day, and then you guys restarted.
We used to be a 4-piece back in high school with 2 of our friends. Well, I guess before that, how far do you want to go back?
Well, we'll go back a little bit farther, but before...
Okay, sure. So we were a 4-piece called the Real Ingredients in high school.
Okay.
With 2 of our friends, Chris and Spencer.
We didn't experience quite the success that we've had so far with the duo.
High school band, and then, shit happens, and we went to college and kind of split, and they had their life and did their own thing, and we went to college, and I don't know about Chris or Spencer if they went to college or not, but
Chris didn't, Spencer did.
Okay. We just came back from college, and he moved back to Petoskey a couple years after we graduated, and just started it back up.
Now, you started out with this 4-piece band and now going to a 2-piece band. What were the other instruments that were playing in the 4-piece band? Because I know, Traven, you play the cajon and then also really mean sax, and then you just play guitar?
Guitar, and then, I loop, and then I sing, and I got the bass drum, but harmonica too.
Okay.
But,
nice.
Primarily guitar.
The 4-piece we had... It was more of Sean on the piano back in the day.
Piano and drum beats off the piano.
Oh, nice.
It was interesting. So we didn't have a drum set player.
Yeah. And then Spencer Nemechek, he was on bass guitar and trumpet a little bit. And then Chris Burhop was electric guitar.
Okay,
and then he was on sax and lead vocal.
Nice. Nice. That's cool. And then, so you went to school, and now you guys have full-time jobs, and you've been playing for the past... almost 3 years now.
Let's say 2.
2 years and stuff, just practicing. Have you just been playing in the Petoskey area or going down to Traverse City?
Yeah, last year we hit it hard. We thought we were good with, I think we had about 38, 40 gigs the whole year last year, and primarily the Petoskey area, but we had a couple in Boyne, a couple in Charlevoix, a couple in Harbor Springs.
Yeah. Nice.
But this year we're really branching out. I moved to Traverse City for about 4 months.
Okay.
Just moved back to Petoskey, but I made some connections, so we'll be down in Traverse City. On St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be in Gaylord for at Treetops.
Nice.
Alpena now. We just booked some gigs down in Lewiston, Grayling, possibly Grand Haven. So we're
sweet.
We're happy,
you're branching out
and
everything, and then this summer I hope you branch out even more. Some festivals around the town. I know the Thunder Bay Folk Festival is really nice, and also up in Marquette, the Hiawatha Music Festival.
Oh yeah.
That's like just a little bit smaller Bliss Fest kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to play at Bliss.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
We're waiting for Dan Calloway and Jim Gillespie, if they're listening, to finally. I don't know how much power they have, but
let's get going.
Yeah, we've been bugging them for a while. He's on their land use committee, and I'm on their marketing committee, and I think we're both members, but we love Bliss Fest. We've been trying to get in for a couple of years, but
that's cool.
We're hoping this year on the Michigan stage, and then
that'd be cool.
In 2 weeks from now, I don't know when the podcast will air, but 2 weeks from the recording date, we'll be at the Traverse City Great Indoor Folk Fest.
Okay,
it's on a Sunday, so
nice.
We're excited for that. It's at the end of February.
Sweet, sweet. That's cool. Now I want to go a little bit more into like your music. Your originals are very compelling. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that kind of Nako and Medicine Bear kind of music, more looking to live a good life and looking to promote good life in other people. Like yourselves, like-minded people. I really enjoy it, and then the collaboration with the different instruments, having the loop pedal and changing things up. I love guitarists that use loop pedals because it just intrigues me as a geek. I can make up a whole song off of this and everything, and it's cool what you can do with that. And then just adding the cajon and the saxophone. I wanted to hear a little bit about what motivated you guys to create this sound.
I think part of it is just what we play and what we had lying around. I mean, when he played sax, so he had a saxophone. I played guitar. I had a guitar. When we started, we used my piano. We might get back into that, but that's another thing to carry around. So you know how it goes.
Yeah,
it's
I gotta unload this.
A ton of gear already, but really, I mean, it started with just an acoustic guitar and a saxophone, and then we started getting some gigs and getting some money, and we bought the loop pedal. And he ended up buying a new saxophone. We just kind of grew it. Grew our sound that way.
Okay.
We're still looking to buy some more stuff.
Nice.
A couple more pedals. Might get we've been looking at I think it's a Boss VE20. It's like a vocal effect pedal.
Oh.
But run his saxophone through it.
Yeah, you can do a bunch of really cool stuff on the saxophone with that pedal.
Really?
Make it sound all electronic or
you can add
bunch of
perfect
echo.
fourth or fifths above it too.
Nice.
So it sounds like there's two saxophones playing at once.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to that band? Is it Moon Ooze or I forgot what they're called. Well, they're all like maybe it's Moon Zoos, but they're three saxophones.
Too many zoos.
Too many zoos.
The Buskers in New York.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
Yeah, those
they
guys
were just in
it.
Detroit a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
So Traven, you write most of the lyrics in this.
I would say that it's
50-50.
pretty 50-50.
Is it 50-50?
Yeah. It's honestly probably, if it leaned one way, it'd be more towards him because we play a lot of. He's got a solo gig as well.
Okay.
He does stuff just as Sean Miller.
Nice.
So he writes a lot of originals for that, and so we play some of his originals that we've incorporated to have both of us play. A lot of those ones, it'll just be me on cajon and singing back up. But then a lot of the songs that we write together are some of our favorite songs to play, and those are usually me on lead vocals.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the ones that we write together.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes both ways. I mean, he's written, the first song we played, Rock Bottom, today, he wrote that.
Yeah.
And I'll come up kind of with, the lyrics, or he's like, I'm kind of thinking this kind of genre, or, this kind of sound, and I'll try and match it as best as I can.
Yeah.
Kind of go from there. So a lot of it's collaboration. But like he said, I do some solo stuff, and that tends to be a little more folky kind of
cool
stuff, but we incorporate it, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, in your storytelling, you guys like to incorporate actual ingredients or actual food ingredients. I like that little connection to it. What gave you this idea for the name Real Ingredients when you were in high school and incorporating all of this stuff? Was there any inspiration in that?
Yeah, I'll let him tell that if he wants.
The story behind the Real Ingredients was that I was hanging out with Sean at his place. We had been trying to come up with a band name for a couple weeks for the 4-piece and had a few ideas, but nothing really stuck. Nobody could really agree on something. And then, so I was over at his place, and we had nachos for dinner, and so I was going to put some salsa on my nachos, and right on the side of the salsa can was made with real ingredients.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, well, that's kind of cool. What if we could be the real ingredients and like make that more than just about food. Like, you know, there's real ingredients that, you know, are parts of life. There's real ingredients that are parts of like a good relationship, or like it can really apply to anything.
Yeah.
So we love to play the food pun, but the real ingredients can kind of transcend that and go into other parts of life.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I mean that's what we were called in high school, and then when we came back, we thought about a new name, but we're like, why don't we just keep
the real ingredients? Why not
carry it on? So
yeah, that's cool.
How it stuck. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Now the next couple of songs that you're gonna play with us, are they any songs about food?
Well, we're at least gonna play Cheese Stick in a Dream.
Cheese Stick in a Dream.
Yep, so that one is
Do you have
about
a story
food.
about that?
Yeah.
Definitely have a story about cheese stick. You can tell it.
All right. Yeah, I worked. I work at the Petoskey News-Review. That's my full-time gig as a art and entertainment reporter, and one of my coworkers, Molly Courier, and I were. She has like this little sill, kind of like this, kind of little sill, and she sits behind it, and I, can come up and lean on it, and so I was just bugging her. I'm like, hey, you want to go to lunch? And she's like, nah, I already got a lunch today. I'm like, well, what do you have? And she's like, just a cheese stick in a dream. And literally, she just had, one of those like string cheese things, like you get at Meijer or whatever, and so I thought that was funny. I'm like, that's a good song name, Cheese Stick in a Dream, and she's like, yeah, you should definitely write it. So I think that was like on a Friday, and we had a gig at the Harbor Springs Farmers Market that next day on Saturday morning, and I had like this kind of riff thing I was messing with, and we just looped it. You'll hear the song, but we looped it, and we just like made it up on the spot. It's since evolved and it's become an actual song, but we just kind of made it up,
made it into some kind of jam. It just started with me saying, we got a cheese stick and a dream, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And so that was kind of like, and then I would just saxophone solo forever. And then we kind of made up some little raps to go along with it that were sometimes good, sometimes not so good. So that's how it started. But then we sat down one day and we're like, hey, we should actually like turn this into a real song that we write. Yeah. So we used some of the stuff that we'd said in the raps, and we came up with some new stuff. And now it's one of our favorite songs to play, and it's fun just because it's really funky. It's got some rock influence, but it's also it's got humor, obviously. So
that's cool.
It was just a challenge to write a song about something like that, and it turned into a fun challenge. So
yeah,
that's cool. And your other song?
We could do the next two you're talking about?
Yeah.
We could do Cheese Stick, and we can do Driving Alone.
Okay.
Yeah, the other songs were not that we're doing aren't really about food, but
what's Driving Alone about?
Yeah, that's his song. That's one of my favorites that he's written, honestly, so I'll let him.
Driving Alone is kind of it's definitely more folky. He plays the harmonica on that one.
Okay.
And it's pretty much a song about my old car. I had last summer, and kind of a little bit before that, I had, when I first moved back to Michigan, my grandpa's brother sold me this just old beater for $500 just to get me back on my feet after going through a breakup and not having a car or anything. So it was a Delta 88 Oldsmobile, and it was a big old blue boat, and I loved that car though. Like the second I got in it, it was just so retro. The seats felt like couches, and it was in decent shape in terms of how it ran. I did have to get some stuff done on it, but I had a lot of good memories in that car, and it got me through like kind of the tumultuous time after a breakup. It got me downstate to a music festival that was really healing for me, which was Buttermilk Jamboree. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. It's in Kalamazoo area. Really cool little music festival.
Okay.
But so I just one time when I got back from Buttermilk Jamboree, I just had like the most beautiful drive on the way back from there with the sun setting and everything. And I just knew I had to write a song about that car, and that's where Driving Alone came from.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to hear them. Yeah. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Cool. way down to the docks. Another day of catching fish and just looking up at the clock. I know today has got to be the big catch. The first few hours fly by with nothing showing up in the nets. Looks like it's already lunchtime.
What do we got?
We got a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Yeah, we got a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. Grab another cup of Joe, yeah, just enough to keep me going. Today's news assignments I already know. They're gonna be mind-blowing. I've gotta cover a cat stuck in a tree, and then festival on the bay. But I forgot my sandwich at home, man. So it looks like today all I've got is a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Yeah, we got a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. Working down at the local pub. Looks like I'll be getting out late. It's been busy as hell today. I got nothing left on my plate. Will my shift ever end? I don't know, but I can't wait to count my tips. Just wanna sit down and eat some grub. All I've had to eat today's a handful of chips.
What else?
A motherfucking cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Yeah, we got a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean. Ooh yeah, we got a cheesesteak and a dream, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. All right, cool. So this next song is called Driving Alone, and kind of mentioned it in the interview. It's about my old car, my Delta 88 Oldsmobile. Heartache, a big mistake. A place to be, someone to see. My own thoughts and my own songs. Yeah, there's no one in this car car but me. The destination lies far ahead. Tonight I won't be sleeping in my bed. 75 miles an hour on 180 horsepower. That's why I'm driving alone. I'm liberated, I'm on my own, leaving behind who I was before, looking forward to what's in store. On a highway or a sunlit back road, my hands are on the wheel, and I'm feeling good. The wind whips by my Delta 88 Oldsmobile, and the thoughts that flicker through my mind of worldly stress or the daily grind, they become part of the background noise as I cruise towards a new story. That's why I'm driving alone. I'm liberated, I'm on my own, leaving behind who I was before, looking forward to what's in store. Dark thoughts and loneliness, they don't exist in this place. It's only a race and I'm setting the pace. Now there's moonlight on my face, and all of a sudden I shift to park. Starlight is shining down through the dark. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, but I feel it in my bones. Yeah, there's no place that I'd rather be right now than driving all alone. Driving all alone. That's why I'm driving alone. I'm liberated, I'm on my own, leaving behind who I was before, looking forward to what's in store. One more time I was singing, that's why I'm driving alone. I'm liberated, I'm on my own, leaving behind who I was before, looking forward to what's in store. Thank you. Thanks, guys. You're almost touching the ceiling.
Yep, just about. The door will get you every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. It's
Is
fun.
that root beer good, by the way?
No.
No, it sucks.
It's caffeine free.
That's the worst.
What's the point?
All root beer is caffeine free. I think only Bargs has caffeine.
Wait, hold up. What kind is that?
I don't know. It's called Frost Top.
I'm going to need you to try some Boylan's root beer. It's the best root beer you'll ever taste in your
Frost
life.
Top is the one they got on tap at the Daily Limit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Daily Limit.
which is one frost night.
Well, then they know what they're doing. Same as Bubba's down on 2nd Avenue on the north side. They just got frost tap. I was like, I've never seen this kind of root beer.
Now you know why.
Hey man,
Doesn't sell anywhere
since
else.
1926 apparently.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's been around. It's been around the block a lot more than you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since 1926,
Got
it's
some
been going
stories
on
to
the
tell.
block.
Mm.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so your music is hilariously, motivationally compelling to create more. And like I think you guys just fill the atmosphere with creativity when you guys play, and also I want to see like you guys practice when I watch you play, because I don't know how you come up with all of these songs. Like I feel like you have one after another of just these crazy songs, and you guys just are in sync with all of them. Do you guys practice every day, or
No.
Nah.
We well, when I moved to Traverse City, so I moved in October.
yeah?
We hardly ever practiced, and I'll be honest, we had some rough gigs.
Oh really?
But I mean, like, now that I'm back in town, I mean, leading up to our, this weekend in Alpena, we probably practiced twice this week.
Yeah.
But I think part of it's just, I know him pretty well, so I know like when his solo is going to end pretty well. I don't know. I think we're just in sync with each other. We've been friends for 13 years. I think we can just kind of play off each other and know kind of what's coming up. But I mean, when we practice, we make sure we know like
And I think
how
it
the song's structured, and
probably also has to do with the fact that we were both in high school band together.
Yeah.
So we had like a similar educational basis for
Okay.
like kind of the building blocks of music.
Mm-hmm.
So having that similar experience and similar teachers and lessons, I think that definitely probably helped us and currently still helps us with, just being able to read off each other and adjust accordingly. So yeah, I think that had a big part of it too.
That's cool. That's cool. So you've been playing for a long time now.
Oh.
What was the first instruments that you guys started picking up? Traven, did you want to?
Sure. I actually learned a little bit of piano, first of all, when I was really young. My grandma actually found a really good deal on a piano, and so she bought it, and we had it in my grandma Julianne's house for a couple of years, and I took lessons. She had me taking lessons on the piano, so that's kind of where I learned the basics of just music in general. And that didn't really catch on with me though. I just wasn't a huge fan of playing the piano. Also, she started me really young, but I always was into music after that. And then when I got out of elementary school and I was heading into middle school, I knew that I wanted to be in band for sure.
Okay.
So I was in Pelston schools at the time when I first started middle school, and they had a very small, in comparison to some of the other schools in the area, it was a pretty crappy little band, but it was a band nonetheless. And so pretty much I tried out the saxophone mouthpiece, and they said that I had a really good embouchure right away. And so that's where I got into the saxophone, was going into middle school band, and I stuck with it ever since.
Oh wow. Well, and Sean?
where do I start? I went to Concord Academy, which is a private arts school in Petoskey, K through 5th.
Wow.
So right away in kindergarten, I was 4 years old. I had Orff class.
Were your parents like super musically inclined? Or?
My mom is. My dad's not. My dad can't hold a beat to save his life.
Really?
He's completely tone deaf. But my mom plays piano, was percussionist in band and everything. So I probably get it from her.
Okay.
But yeah, I started with music in kindergarten, all the way up, and then in Concord they start band in 5th grade.
Okay.
So I was the only percussionist in that band. It was my class was like 12 kids.
Yeah.
So I was the only percussionist, and then I switched to the public schools, Petoskey Public School in middle school, because I had a year of percussion. My mom was a percussionist under the same teacher. They let me be percussion. So 6th through 12th, I was in percussion, did jazz band, played piano, had 8 years of piano lessons against my will, kind of. But yeah, I was in the Petoskey Steel Drum Band. It was a blast. And then I actually went to college. My first kind of year and a half, most of my first year was music education.
Okay.
And I did a lot with that. Got into ethnomusicology. Got a little bit more into jazz. Bought my own steel drums. Actually went to Africa for a month. I spent in Ghana.
Wow.
Studying the traditional and religious music of the Dagara people,
That's
which is like very
amazing.
specific,
That's
but
awesome.
it was awesome. So I'm really, a lot of my influence, I guess, comes from percussion.
Okay.
I think my guitar playing is very
Yeah.
percussive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also got, speaking of guitar, my parents bought me my first one at 14. I think I've owned 4. I've sold one of them.
Wow.
But yeah, it was, I've had a lot of music in my life. I can't see it not being a part of it.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take this music? Like, do you guys
Him
want
and I disagree on where we want to take it. But
Really?
It'd be cool to make it a full-time thing, but we both work jobs that we love. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he could see it going like into other states and maybe even across as far as we could take it. And then for me, I'm in a committed relationship and kind of a smaller town type of guy, and that would be it could be problematic.
But
I
there's
guess.
a lot of stuff with like the technology that we have today. I feel like you can get that out there and with like live video capability and doing stuff that way.
yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, we've had one of his friends take a good amount of videos of us, Spencer McCormick. He's in the Harbor Springs, Petoskey area, and I mean, some of those blew up. Our song "Syncopated Monkey Feet." Facebook, if you're a page, sometimes gives you like $10 in free ads, so we threw it on
nice.
there, and it in like 2 days got over 4,000 views or something like that.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool, and one of our biggest, at least to me, accomplishments or something that really kind of struck home was like people are reaching out to us now.
Yeah.
I mean, we had that guy from Lewiston call us down at Tally's Bar or Tavern or something like that, and someone reached out on Facebook for the Traverse City Shed
Nice.
beer garden or something, and then someone in Grand Haven too.
Awesome.
So we're getting around.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been fun, and it's
Definitely. And there's a lot of music in Michigan, too, and a lot of, like, venues and places. I feel like Michigan was huge back in the day in rock and roll and the Motown music, and then they kind of had, like, this Nold area.
Yeah.
And now it's coming back in like, a wave form of force. And there's just musicians coming out of everywhere, out of the woodwork in Michigan. And I think it's very... It could be a very good place for musicians to thrive in the future because there's places opening up through the breweries that they have and wineries, and people want to go out and do things now.
Yeah.
And they're starting to realize what we have in our area that we should cherish.
It's been
that.
really cool to watch, honestly. I mean, we're young, we're 24, but like the last 4 years, so to say, I think I mentioned I was art and entertainment reporter at the News-Review, and even just like watching the local scene there grow has been
definitely.
awesome. I mean, there's so many bands that 3 years ago I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just cool to watch. And if you think about it too, like on a larger scale, in like the last 4 years, 4 of like one of the finalists on The Voice are from Michigan.
Yeah.
Lathel Sadi, Joshua Davis, Lauren Pope, I think that was her name. And then there's the guy that's in Tell Your Mama was on The Voice this year.
Really? Oh, wow.
So like, and they're all from like, Joshua Davis is Traverse City, Lauren's from Gaylord. Lath is played all over northern Michigan, but he's from Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, I don't remember his name, but he's
from Lansing.
Yeah, he's in East Lansing area.
Nice.
So
We need to get someone from the UP. On the
let's do it. Yeah.
That's next year.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And actually, one of my friends, I don't want to say her name because I don't know if we're allowed to, but just went to audition on The Voice too.
Oh, really? Nice.
So so a lot of Michigan talent. I mean,
it's
on small scale and all over. It's awesome to see.
Definitely. Now, with your music, do you do anything other than live performances? Do you have a record out, an EP?
So not
Coming
yet.
soon.
Yeah, we're working on that. We had dabbled in a little bit of that type of stuff. We have some very basic kind of, not to make a pun, but some basement recordings that were done with, actually, Sean borrowed the music board from the Petoskey News-Review, and we went in the basement of his parents' house and just kind of did some rough, they don't sound too bad, but they're not, professionally recorded.
It was kind of just like, it was just kind of like set the levels, play it once, done.
Yeah.
And I think we spent like an hour and did like 6 to, I don't know, handful of songs.
And so that's,
But you got something.
Yeah, we got something. So that's on our press kit. And then we've been really relying on, to get our stuff out more, is like we kind of mentioned, is the videos. Because that's such a really great medium to get stuff out. And since we do play live mostly. But our new plan is to kind of maybe start a Kickstarter and accept donations to raise money to get some real studio time in a real studio.
Nice.
And so that might be a project that we get started up this summer, or at the very latest next fall, because we have such a big, busy summer coming up with gigs. But we had a friend that had again in a basement in Petoskey. His name's Eli Ellison, and he was helping us do some pretty professional recording. He's a really smart younger guy, and his dad's been into music and recording and stuff like that his whole life.
Nice.
And so they were helping us do some nice professional recordings of Rock Bottom and Petoskey Summer, kind of our two earlier hits, if you want to call them. But unfortunately, Eli lives downstate now, and that just kind of fell off. So that's why we're considering the Kickstarter option.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking at a couple people. I mean, to me, it's been a little inspiring because there's been some local bands, Sky and Signal, right at Petoskey. They successfully raised a couple grand for their debut album. And then Brother James, he's out of Elk Rapids, just raised like $12,000 or something. Yeah. Crazy. But he has a lot of corporate people behind him.
Nice.
He does a lot of like motivational music talks.
Cool.
He was able to raise. I think he's recording in Texas or something.
Oh wow.
But there's just a lot of local people coming out with albums, and it's always been a dream of mine, and I think that's kind of what we need to do next. So.
So that's in development then.
It is,
Nice.
Coming soon, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. And that's something that I feel that someone could captivate on up here. If they know how to record music, then they could do it for a cheaper price than they do downstate. And
for sure.
Any entrepreneurs out there. I want to talk about your next songs that you're going to be playing.
Sure.
Okay. We're going to be playing Three Young Lads, which you guys heard at Chiefs last night. And that is a story, unofficial story, about some friends of ours that had a run-in with the law. And that's all I can say about that one, pretty much. The rest of the story will be told through the song. Yeah. So that's Three Young Lads, and then the other one we're going to play is, what is the other one we're going to play?
Breaking Through.
Oh yeah, that's, so this is just our very, very recent brand new song that we wrote.
About 4 days ago.
Yeah, the Thursday night before we headed down here for the weekend, or over here for the weekend. And the inspiration was that we are breaking out of just Petoskey. We're getting to play our music in other towns. As Sean just mentioned, we'll be in Traverse City and all over the place this summer. Yeah. So we wanted to write a song about how kind of grateful we are that we're able to do that, and how excited we are, and nervous that we are, because it definitely comes with a little bit of those nerves, like, wow, we're going to be playing at all these new places and
playing our music for the first time in front of people that have never heard us before.
Yeah.
It's always a little nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking, putting yourself out there.
But it's fun.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
It's a rush, and that's super.
I think it becomes
cool.
addicting. It's
totally,
you're just like, okay, when's the next one?
Yeah, he's always like, oh, I'm so nervous.
But then after you're done, you're like, when's the next one?
We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I get over the nerves pretty quick.
No. But we love it. If we didn't, we wouldn't be doing it. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we're super we try and express how grateful we are as often as we can, because we've been really fortunate to have connections a lot through Sean and his work as arts and entertainment reporter at the News-Review. We were able to kind of hit the ground running with the Real Ingredients because he had so many connections with already bands and the managers of those bands, and just different venues that do art and entertainment in the area. And so because he already knew all these people, he could just pretty much say, hey, you know, by the way, we have a duo as well. So we'd love to, you know, we started out just the same way as a lot of people do with open mics and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And just networking.
Yeah, networking was just really important.
Yeah, it's been a lot of networking. I mean, honestly, like he said, open mics, and then we did like this tiny gig. Our goal 2 years ago was just like get one gig.
Yeah. And
we ended up playing at a tiny little nature preserve. They had this awesome space, honestly. What was it called?
It's called Timey Hogue Nature Preserve. It's out in near Goodhart in the other side of the state.
Okay.
It's a really beautiful nature preserve, and they had a super cool stage, all made out of natural wood and stuff like that. And that was kind of like our first official gig. We put it out. We threw it on for just free, and
I think like 12 people came, but it was awesome. But that's what that's where it started, and you know, from there, like he said, I got a lot of connections and friends, you know, in the industry, so to say, and it was just a lot of networking and some favors here and there. But it was it's great, you know. Without the help of Blissfest, I mean, even like this weekend, we borrowed a monitor from them because we don't have one.
Oh, nice.
So that's theirs.
Really?
So, you know, if they're listening, thanks Jim, Dan, Caroline, and Sarah for, you know, being behind us and supporting us. And I mean, they book a lot of stuff in Petoskey, so, you know, almost all the farmers markets, they, you know, kind of have a hand in. And then there's a thing called street music, which is in Harbor Springs. They got like bands playing on the street like every Thursday, so we did that, and
that's cool.
It just kind of grew from there. We did a lot of the small stuff, and now we're playing breweries and bars and venues, and
When is the next time you think you're going to come to Alpena?
To
play.
I mean, we've made
whenever you want us.
Yeah, we made some really great connections this weekend with the owners of the bars that we played at. I mean, like I said, I have a lot of family history here. My dad knows a ton of people because he does a lot of stuff for he's trying to get a raptor rehabilitation center going.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So that's
Jeremy Stappa?
Yep, that's my dad, Jeremy Stappa, working on that. So he talks to a lot of those types of people around town, and just, you know, living here his whole life, he just knows a lot of people. And so we'd love to come back anytime. We're hoping to kind of, after we get back home and recoup, that we'd love to reach out to some of the other owners of venues in the area, and
you should definitely check out like the Fresh Palette at the Nucleus. You could do some music there. They do music in the alleyway there too in the summers as well, which is really cool. And then I think the Owl does music, and the Black Sheep is a cool venue to do.
And my dad's really good friends with the owner of Black Sheep, so that would be really great to be able to play there. So I mean, we'll come back as soon as you'll have us.
Cool, definitely.
If they're listening, our March and April is pretty open.
Okay, cool. And maybe you could come for the Spring Fling. I don't know if they have the bands already set up, but you could talk to the people from the Folk Society. I know Diane Bartz and
Thunder Bay Folks.
The Thunder Bay Folk Society.
Yeah, we'll reach out.
Yeah, reach out to them. You could just send them a direct message, and any bands that want to get a hold of them and try to get their music out there. They are great resources in the area to get your music out there. I think you guys should probably come back in the summer, and we should do a music video.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Yeah,
totally
we need
down.
to find like a field. And just have you guys in. I love that picture of you guys playing in the field with all those flowers.
Right behind the Odawa Casino.
Well, we got to find a field that I can fly a drone by.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
We could do some cool music videos and stuff. So, I wanted to thank you guys for coming down to the basement. And
thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming all the way over from Petoskey.
Honestly, this weekend's been just a blast. So thank you, and thank Alpena, and
thanks everyone who helped made it happen, and all the family and friends who came out to support.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and I hope to hear from you guys soon, and I'm excited to hear these next two songs.
All right, we're excited to play them.
Great.
Once again, this is a This is a story type of song about some friends of ours who had a run-in with the law. Nothing like that has ever happened to us. Just three young lads going out one night, driving down those snowy roads with only one headlight. Didn't have that far to go, just headed downtown, but they ended up on the side of the road with that siren sound. Whoop, whoop. Well, before they had left that night, they had a toke. When the officer rolled the window down, he said, "Boys, I smell smoke." They replied, "Officer, we ain't done no harm." And he said, "Boys, hop on out. Let me search the car." Well, they obliged and stepped out front for everyone to see. They knew he wouldn't find anything in there. They knew they'd be set free. Then he started patting them down one by one, asking them questions like, "When's the last time you smoked weed, son?" Well, one of them told the truth, the other two told a lie. The truth of the matter was, both those boys were high. Well, the officer said, "Go ahead, boys, and sit back down in the car. It'll only take me a minute or two to run your cards." And everything checked out. They were in the clear. So they proceeded on downtown, and they drank some beer. Oh, they drank some beers. And that is how the story of three young lads ends. And if there's just one thing to recommend before you head out at night, check your lights, leave the grass at home, and everything will be all right. And just one more thing. Just remember, you're jamming with the real ingredients tonight. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. All right, cool. We're the Real Ingredients, and this is our brand new song. It's about taking our music out of Petoskey to a bunch of new towns, including Alpena. It's called Breaking Out and Breaking Through. We hope y'all like it. Well, we've been looking to the horizon for a while now, wanting to bring our music to more than just one small town. Playing those same old bars never got us far, but here we are, and we're breaking out and breaking through. Yeah, we're breaking out, breaking through. We're breaking out, breaking through, and it's all thanks to you. And it's not always about who you know, and it's not always about following the status quo. 2 steps forward, or 1 step back, but you're still making progress. Life's like that, and we're breaking out, breaking through, and we're breaking out, breaking through. We're breaking out, breaking through, and it's all thanks to you. Break it down. Where we've been looking to the horizon for some time now, but the sun is setting, it's going down. Gotta keep pressing on, wipe the sweat from my brow. In the end we know we'll make it somehow, 'cause we're breaking out and breaking through. We're breaking out, breaking through. Yeah, we're breaking out, breaking through, and it's all thanks to you. We're breaking out, breaking through, and we're breaking out, breaking through. We're breaking out, breaking through, and it's all thanks to you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was better. All right, we're the Real Ingredients at the Northeast Michigan Basement Tapes. This will be our last song for the evening before we head back home over to Petoskey. So we're going to go ahead and play our hometown song. This is called Another Petoskey Summer. And even though it's still the middle of winter, no matter what time of year it is, there's always another Petoskey summer coming around. So we're going to play that one for you. Well, the snow is finally melted. People are getting outside. All my friends are coming home and I'm starting to feel alive. The waves are lapping on the beach. I got my toes in the sand, staring at the sunset with a cold beer in my hand. Yeah, we got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. That's right, we got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. I'm saying grab the tent and pack the car. We're going to the state park, camping on the shoreline, dancing around a bonfire dark, cruising down the main streets and we're grabbing a bite to eat. There's music on every corner, so everybody get on your feet for another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. Alright, we got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. And wherever I may roam, this town will always be my home. Wherever I may roam, whoa, I'll always be playing my saxophone. Got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. We got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. That's right, we got another Petoskey summer. Another Petoskey summer. We got another Petoskey summer coming around. Yeah. That was Petoskey Summer.
Thank you.